All right, Pete. ESPN Saturday.
Yeah.
And I know you'll really you've got the taste of it now. And this year you'll get the full, everything being on contract.
Yeah.
What is that? You just hear that ESPN Saturday. What does that bring to mind?
Well, butterflies. I think it's for all of us. I think if you don't have that little bit of tension and stress and butterflies in your stomach, the pilot light isn't on. I mean,
yeah.
You talk to the best players of all time. You talk to fans. You talk to media members. I mean, wow. Week one, I'm at Baylor. September 2nd, here it is. Texas State comes in to Waco to play Baylor, and it's just everybody's 0-0. Yeah. There's something about that is just so powerful. And so the first thing I think of when you say game day, I think butterflies. You wake up in the morning, and it's like all this anticipation and excitement, but there's also butterflies. It's that big a deal.
Pete, what is it behind the scenes? So I have been blessed enough to at least see how you guys operate.
Yeah.
But for a general fan, it and to me even in seeing it for the first couple times, I thought, oh, that's not what I thought it was like. There is there's the view the fans get on the TV at home, and then there's what it actually is for you in the booth. What do you think is misconstrued, misunderstood, or almost the TV magic that goes into it that a viewer might not understand?
Well, preparation is massive for football. I'm lucky because I played football. Yeah. I worked in public relations in the NBA, and I wrote game notes for years. I'm a stats nerd, I know how to find stats. The guy who I'm doing the game with is LaDarren McClain. Right now, I can tell you that LaDarren played at North Texas, and I can't wait to ask him about in 1999 when North Texas beat Texas Tech on the road in week 2 of the season. What's that like going into an environment like that? How does Texas State pull off this upset against Baylor? That's a nugget that I thought, I wonder if one of his North Texas teams upset somebody. They did. And so now I get to, so that's kind of like, that's in my wheelhouse. As far as game day is, so the preparation is crazy though. I mean, there's so many players. I've literally seen very good broadcasters, very good, back away from doing football games because they said, it's just not worth it for me.
Wow.
I have an NBA contract. I've seen that happen. And that's the truth, Sarah. And they'll tell you, look, man, you're doing a college football game and there's a lot that can go wrong, but there's a lot that can go right. And some of the things that go right, you have so much assistance up there in the booth. I mentioned being a PR guy. When I was a PR guy, I got to travel. I worked specifically in the NBA, but I did travel with a couple NFL broadcasters and college broadcasters, and I did spotting for them. And for people that don't know, broadcasters have boards. I'll get my board here for the Baylor game. Usually you get them the Monday or Tuesday of game week. Yeah. And I've already done a ton of research, handwritten notes, found out all those little nuggets I just told you about, my broadcast partner and players all over on both teams. But game day, when the action starts, I have a guy next to me who will point at the board. Okay, this guy made the catch. This guy made the tackle. And then there's another guy who's telling me how many yards, a catch was, and any exotic nuggets. The reason I say that is I don't know if some broadcasters shy away from revealing that, but I used to do both of those jobs. And I know there's a lot of stress and they're thankless. So it's certainly worth bringing up and taking people behind the curtain because there's a lot that goes into it. Because on a play, I'm talking to the analyst, the producer saying something. I watch every play and I see every last thing that happens, but it doesn't hurt to have somebody there, that can help me with the bang, bang stuff. And I will say too, when I'm really prepared, that spotter's incredible to have for a block punt and who recovered it. But at the same time, you don't need them that much.
Yeah.
I know that both teams so well, the bodies of the players. If a guy climbs the ladder for a catch and his number's obstructed, well, I've got a pretty good feeling that's Jordan Neighbors. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's kind of how that works.
I love it. Pete, before we get you out of here, you mentioned butterflies already. You mentioned stress, too. You get in the booth at McLean Stadium on September 2nd. Headset goes on. You're 30 seconds out from being live. What's the gut feeling? What are there nerves there, or are you just doing your job?
Well, I used to think of Last year I thought of my dad because he passed away. This year my brother passed away in the off season, and you sent me such a nice note. He died from cancer. My brother Kevin, it's just 52 years old. I can guarantee you I'll be thinking of him, and I'll be asking those guys and the help of the higher power, the big guy upstairs, to just speak through me, and let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. We are a medium for people to have fun. It's like, at that point you're so prepared. And the game is going to happen before you. At 6 o'clock Central Time or 6:02 or whatever, whether you're ready or I'm ready, they're going to kick off, dude. And it's time. And I'll be ready, and I can guarantee you'll be ready too. And it's time to let's have some fun.
I love it, Pete. Thank you again for being on the show today, peeling back the curtain a bit, giving your dark horses, and dude, any excuse that I can have to have you on the show and just to say, hey, is always worth it. This is for you to take time to do this. I'm very grateful. Yeah, and go back at the end, be like Stat Boy on Around the Horn or PTI. Any clerical errors I made, make sure you help me out with them so I don't hear from all, Perfect. Just in case Texas and Texas Tech don't play. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to need your help, all right? Because I love the Big 12 and I love all the fans, and I look forward to doing some football and then a lot of basketball. Yeah. Well, Pete, folks are going to hear you on ESPN. Where can they find you on social media or anywhere else where you're posting podcasts or daily shows? Yeah, I talked about one thing. You talked about my story. I've been sober for 12 years, or almost 12 years. I wouldn't be here without that. And, I had the gift of desperation, but I never thought I would be able to stop. I was I'm an addict. Now I live this. I'm talking to you. I'm just loving it. I try to wear life like a loose shirt. It's good. But if you feel like you can't stop drinking, just DM me, or you can't stop using it, whatever. I'm always here to help and talk people through it. I went to treatment. I lived in a recovery house. I worked at a KFC in the recovery house. I was in my 30s. This was after I worked in the NBA. So I learned a lot about life, second chances, and gratitude. And I got a podcast called The Payoff with Pete, and that's all about recovery. So if you want to find me there, go ahead. But again, any questions, any family members, yourself, DM me. I'd love to talk to you about any problems or struggles with addiction. I love it. That's Pete Souza from ESPN. Let's go. Come on. Next week, come back on Monday. Thanks for a great second week for all you listeners out there. Come back on Monday. We got a big guest lineup next week as well, getting you ready for kickoff. September's right around the corner, right here at Locked On. Thanks for making it your first listen every single day. Big 12.